I'm so grateful. She's such a fun character to play. I mean, who doesn't want to play kind of the bad girl on a nighttime soap? You know what I mean? Like she gets to do these crazy things, and somehow we don't hate her for it. At least I hope we don't hate her for it. We'll see. But no, she's really fun. She's really fun. Every script, she's very different too. So I'm a little bit scared I'll come off like a schizo. But it's okay. Hopefully there's a through line. That's my job, is to make a through line. But yeah, it's really fun.
Well, Julie was saying that Pamela and Emma actually strike up a little bit of a friendship, which is just going to be all kinds of awkward should the real Emma and John Ross relationship come out. What can you tease about the journey between those three people this season?
Yeah, they do. They do become friends. I think.
Is it genuine though from Emma's side?
Well, here's the thing. I absolutely believe that Emma greatly admires Pamela. I think that there is an intense adoration of her. She's sort of the woman that Emma wishes she could be. Mm-hmm. She has love from this man, this very powerful man, albeit a philanderer, but still, she has his true love, and she didn't have to get it in any kind of convoluted way. Mm-hmm. He just sort of loves her, and I think Emma admires that, but is incredibly jealous of that. And she's grown up in a world where she's always been given what she wants, pretty much. And she doesn't really know boundaries. She was never really given any boundaries. And then, she was given boundaries, but in such a restrictive way that once those were kind of lifted, she knows no boundaries. And I also think she feels really alone. I think a lot of the decisions that she makes come from this place of loneliness, like a little girl inside who's been abandoned. That stuff sticks with you. And so it's an interesting journey with Pamela and Emma. I think that Pamela, I would think, actually does like Emma's company. I think she understands her. Let's not forget, Pamela has her dark side. And so I think the dark side of Emma and kind of her relationship to her father really resonates with Pamela as well. And then, John Ross in the middle of all that. It's just, it's delicious. There's some really awesome things coming up with it.
Well, speaking of her father, she gets in the middle, obviously, of his business when she brings her grandmother back home. Mm-hmm. How much does she know about his real business?
That is something that she gets bits of information as it goes along, and it kind of creates this web of convolution. It's a very Harris is not always what you expect him to be, I'll just say. And I think
does that affect how she relates to him?
No, because on a personal level, although I think he also acts out of love, he also doesn't know how to love. Look at Judith being his mother. He doesn't really know how to love well, or not well, but without condition. And I think that he, just on that classic father-daughter sort of relationship of you can't date that guy. Mm-hmm. But in Harris and Emma world, and I'm going to beat him within a pulp of his life, and I'm going to have him blow up a rig, and I'm going to have all these awful things happen, you know what I mean, that are just so outside of reality, of the realm of most people's reality. And I think I don't think Emma judges him on what he does as a living. I don't think she cares, really. I think she thinks money, power, great, whatever, who cares? I think it's more in like a interpersonal relationship that Emma is affected by her father.
When we're looking at season 3 and we're looking at just how far both, it's weird to call her the matriarch and him the patriarch because of the relationship, but when we look at those heads of the family and how far they're willing to go, do we get a sense of who Emma aligns with because she really believes what they're doing is the right way versus, well, I'm going to use you to get to the other one, get under the other one's skin?
I think it's a good question. I think that, again, I don't know that Emma really has a moral compass in terms of
or even just like a personal attachment.
That's what I was going to say, is that I don't think she has a moral compass in terms of like what they do to get their money. So what Judith does,
or not even to get their money, but the way they run the family. The way they treat Emma.
Right. Well, I think that at this point her relationship with Harris is so contentious because she's not necessarily super aware that Judith is really the person pulling the strings so much. I think she sees Harris making a lot of decisions that look like it's on his own.
Gotcha.
And so she really has a disconnect to her father. I don't think that's going to be the case forever, because, you know, Judith thought that she can control Emma, and what I think you'll find in this season is that no one can control Emma. And it's caused, not even Emma has no control over herself. It's causing a lot of it's causing a lot of big events to sort of start. And kind of Emma's always there somehow with like the matches in her hand. So I don't think that Judith's calm and cool dictatorship of this family is gonna be that way for much longer.
And is Emma at all worried about ruining the relationship with her mother through some of the things that she's done?
I think that Emma understands that Anne will always love her. I don't think that she fears that she'll lose her mother. I mean, they definitely have another very kind of, at times, contentious relationship because Anne is the moral compass.
Yeah.
And so if it kind of comes up against what Emma wants, then Emma kind of just says, well, F you, and walks away. And so Anne can get frustrated at that, as any mother
Right.
would. But I don't think that Anne, at the end of the day, would ever disown her child. Whereas, like, and I don't think that Harris and Judith would either. But it's a very different kind of
Yeah.
parenting style.